When in doubt, blame the slime. By Imaginations Go Wild. Read by Eleanor Elizabeth. Summary. Izuku has a nightmare. Thankfully, his ever-so-loving boyfriend is there to help him through it. How? Easy. Murder. And fluff. Sleep isn't one to come easy for Izuku. Nightmares would always plague his dreams, clawing and biting every chance they got. They'd replay old memories of his helpless days back when he was a quirkless nobody who got in everybody's way. Those memories would always warp and twist into something cruel and unrealistic, but it still haunted him and made him feel afraid. And being afraid was a rare emotion for him to feel nowadays. Tonight it was no different. He had a nightmare about his mother again in their old home, a place he'd never get to visit again. It started off normal, for the most part, until Izuku found himself being drowned in slimy goo. The haunting cackle of his aggressor echoed in the void, and his breathing had been completely blocked off. He was dying. He couldn't do anything but claw at the slime. He was helpless, completely and utterly helpless. And as it was always, at the climax of his death does Izuku wake up. Or more like woken up. Izuku! The voice startled the greenette awake. His hands instinctively grabbing onto whatever they can get, Izuku gasped desperately for breaths, curling up onto his side and clenching the fabric in his hands. The same voice cooed, gentle and a bit raspy. Hey, it's okay. I'm right here, pup. I'm right here. A pair of arms enveloped Izuku in them, feeling warm and intimate. It was familiar and very much welcome, making the greenette relax completely before snuggling into the warmth. Tomu? Tomura hummed, pulling the younger teen closer to nuzzle his nose into the curly green bush-gold hair. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Gosh, Izuku liked it when his boyfriend was so soft with him. It's not that the pale man doesn't show that side of him, it's just that it rarely ever appeared nowadays after the dumb Yuzuka bird. Tomura would never stop blaming himself for that day. And neither can Izuku, since it was both their jobs to look out for the League. They can only be thankful that Darby was there to stop the scene from escalating and get away. It's the stupid slime guy again, Izuku muttered indignantly, his clutch on the man's shirt tightening. He doesn't stop coming back, but he's already gone. Why does he keep coming back? Tomura was silent for a moment, but the greenette was patient. He waited quietly whilst fisting the cloth in his hands, a tiny pout forming on his lips. Maybe your brain doesn't register the prison as completely gone, the man muttered thoughtfully. Izuku paused, pouting further. But isn't prison kind of like death? Do you want him dead? Well, this is the 11th time this week I've had a nightmare of him, so whatever works, I guess. Tomura chuckled in amusement, pulling the greenette away to face him eye to eye, the calluses in his hands coming up to caress the freckles on the teen's cheeks, careful of his lifted pinky. How cruel of you to say that so calmly, pup. Have a heart, why don't you? Izuku scoffed, rolling his eyes. There was something amusing about seeing his boyfriend act so hypocritical. He can't help but indulge him. When I had a heart, nobody wanted it. True. But what does that make me, then? The one who stole it away? Tomura laughed, as in an actual laugh. His lips were wide and eyes pinched close. The noise he made was airy and light-hearted. The man leaned closer and touched their foreheads together, the remaining of his mirth turning into chuckles. Izuku couldn't help but smile. That was so fucking cheesy, the man remarked, with no undertone of malice, just light and loving. The greenette smirked slyly. Says the tacky one. He revelled in the look of offence on the man's face. Totally worth the consequence that will happen right about now. Oh, you did not. And so it begins. Izuku doubts it will last long after last time. I think I just did. Why, you little... Suddenly, Tomura went from hugging the greenette on their sides to being on top and pinning the teen down, a wide, mischievous smirk on his lips. Take that back, you little shit. Viridian eyes narrowed with a matching mischievous glint. I don't think I will, Mr. Dead Hands the New Trend. This isn't going to end well for you if you continue this, pup. Nothing ends well in reality, darling. Izuku knew exactly what he did there. The stupefied pause his lover had would forever be engraved into his mind along with the others. Tomura huffed with a smile on his face, shaking his head fondly. I guess you're right. He sits up on his knees and stretched a hand out for the greenette to take. Change your clothes, we're going out. Izuku took the hand carefully and sat up, raising his head to give the man a confused look. Out? Tomura lowered down to face the greenette with a devilish grin, speaking in a quiet voice as if they were exchanging a secret. You wanted the stupid slime guy dead, right? Ah, Izuku replied eloquently, his expression dumbfounded. He really didn't think the man would take it seriously, but then again, when has he ever backed away from murder? So the team replied with a thrilling grin. Safe to say, the news would be all over the desks of our entire prison ward that had the words "Fuck off, slime guy" painted with the blood of the victims on the wall. And the only people who knew the meaning of that will be having another meeting in the UA Teachers Lounge after classes.